You know, my friends, your boy's not one of these build the walls type, right? I accept people of all types and shapes, not the fat ones though. But the neighbors, for some odd reason, keep a dog outside and it's been barking all day. And I'm about to call ice on them fools. Actually, I might be a build a wall sort of guy. I don't know what I started off by saying. I'm not a build a wall guy. Welcome to the stream. This is going to be more of a magic stream, as much as it pains me. Unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to stream last week and give a regularly scheduled PigCast, which we talk about other things and things outside of magic. On this one in particular, it is going to be focused mostly on magic, but we are going to talk about virginity within magic in terms of pronouns. In terms of pronouns and the pronoun people, as I like to call them. We're also going to talk about my favorite show in magic, which for some reason gets a lot of hate from magicians. I don't know why. Probably because they're jealous losers. And also maybe this cringe couple, which could be a topic that is somewhat not magic related, but still, it just made me get the douche chills. And because I watched it, I have to show it to you, so that you have the same pain and agony that I felt. Now, as I like to mention in these streams, typically I like to do a PigCast, which is talking about things outside of magic, right? Today, unfortunately, because I haven't done one in a while, there's some magic news to catch up with. There's some magic stuff that I want to talk about here, specifically the video that I made previously talking about the most offensive words in magic. Now, when I first thought, hey, there's an offensive word in magic, I was immediately rushing to all my favorite words. You know, the hard F, the hard R. No, we got none of those. For this one, if you haven't watched that video, let's talk about the comments here real quick. We got Top Notch. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad to see you. Every time I don't see you for a bit, I assume that there was some sort of accident to do with some sort of downer and a lot of sex jelly. Let me know, by the way, if this cuts off if I touch the mic for some reason. I also hate my hair in this. I slicked it back like a grease monkey. I've been working on my bike for the past 2 days, and I'm not a fan. I'm growing it out, however. But it's Top Notch says good evening and afternoon to all piggybackers. No one gets alerts. YouTube hates its creators and sees them as opposition. They hate this guy. Because I guess, I don't know, I don't have him on my profile. Tank top. Oh, so somebody's guessing as to what I'm wearing, says Mike. And we have tank top with linen jacket. No, we have tank top with jean jacket. That's the vibe that I'm going with today. Iker says stupid ass glasses and ugly ass hairline. All right, man. I'll take that only from you because you've taken pictures of me at Benihana's. So I only take that from you just because I fear you being in some sort of environment where you could take retribution if I said something negative. No, it's not just getting on Piggy's back. Want to call me a piglet? Fine. A magic virgin? Fine. You want to call me dead to Piggy because I choked on Cuban bread? So does he. Not a piggybacker, says Mike. Piggy looks like a Power Ranger from the 90s, the human form, I guess, right? I kind of have that vibe, even though they were all adults and they end up, oh no, we're going to go to a high school. No, you're not in fucking high school. My fucking goodness. I don't want to get those pictures. Virgini's Pepsi addict, two genders, simple. But we're going to be talking about a video that I made earlier. Also, by the way, my new book is out. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. The link is in the description section below. It's called The View from Down Here. As a matter of fact, I finished my new book. I'm out here churning out these books, but I'm making out for lost time. And this most recent one that's not out yet, I'm very proud of. I'm very proud of the actual autobiographical parts of it that tie into the magic. It's got a bunch of good stuff, and it has my favorite trick of all time. So it has actually a couple of my favorite tricks of all time. However, the one that's available now is The View from Down Here, which you could find in the description section below. That's available on my Patreon. You don't need to be a member of Patreon. You could just pick it up if you want. And it's a good book. I've gotten rave reviews all around. People are enjoying it. And it's definitely a fun one if you like dick jokes. But apart from that, I guess let's just get into the nitty gritty, right? We're not going to talk about, we're not just going to digress and go on tangents to try to pad the video and extend it for time. No, we're going to get into the nitty gritty. And someone said that I'd be drinking a coffee. No, I'm drinking caffeine free. Pepsi from, oh, sorry, caffeine-free cola from Publix, because I'm being a hard F by not drinking caffeinated products. So I've been avoiding all of that, as I've mentioned in one of my previous videos. But anyways, let's get into this one. This is where it started off, right? From time to time, what I like to do is I like to go on Facebook on the Magicians Only group. Now, the Magicians Only group, for the most part, they have some good stuff, right? You go in there, you want to talk about magic, you want to ask a question. Typically, people are going to be, more than happy to help you and send you in the right direction if you have any sort of questions to do with magic tricks. However, there's a lot of virginity that's a part of it. And from reading the comments, you could tell that there's a lot of people that outside of magic are really, I don't want to say miserable people, but they're, what's the term? Cunts, losers, real virgins, right? That care about internet words way too much. You could say chronically online. That's kind of the bit. I apologize. I keep hitting the button. And the thing that I hate the most when it comes to videos is shitty audio. And I don't want to keep hitting the desk and people saying, whoa, the stream is good, but his fucking loser button from Primark, his jean jacket from Primark, keeps hitting the desk. So this is where it started. I like to look up certain buzzwords on the Magicians Only group. So I'll search and I'll look up buzzwords like bigotry, certain phobias. I like to do that because you find yourself the most interesting topics and the ones that have the most comments and replies by doing that. One that I found a little while ago is this one that I made a whole video on. Now, the video is AIDS. The audio quality is ass. I tried recording it off of my computer. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I had a shitty microphone. It's not a good video in the sense of quality. However, the content is top tier. And I did drop some jokes in there that I was particularly proud of. Oh, sorry. I keep drinking because I'm drinking decaf. I'm drinking about 10 cups a day because there's no caffeine, so there's no... What am I doing? I'm more regular. Oh, yeah, bad. That's bad. So I've drank nothing but coffee all day today, decaf coffee, and now I'm adding this. So imagine what's percolating inside of my body. So this is where it started, and it was a post made by Michael Crass in 2021 in regards to the use of coins, of Chinese coins in magic. Now, I hate to go down memory lane, but I'm providing the context here. You could see the virginity. I hope I could zoom in. Yes, I can. So this is what got my gears ground for the first time. And again, I made a whole video on this. I'll probably link it if I could be fucked to look at it or leave the link after the fact. But, and just the highfalutin, the language, just I've been thinking about coin magic. Sorry, I completely just fucking bombed that. Questions for magicians, particularly those from the Asian diaspora. What? Who the fuck uses that word apart from pretentious fucks that are trying to let you know, hey, I'm smart. He goes, I've been thinking about coin magicians. I've been thinking about coin magicians who use Chinese coins in their work. And I'm wondering if a white performer, this is just a dirty word, using Chinese coins for magic is inherently cultural appropriative or problematic. Here's the thing that I've realized, just to get back on this. The longer the job description, the more bullshit the title, right? So that typically works in any line of business. Typically, the ones that have the best positions are the ones that are the most condensed. President, CEO, vice president. When you have Director of Equity and Inclusion that's when you know that the job is bullshit, right? Look at my job. Look at how much I have to add to that. You know it's BS, right? Online, magic, whatever the fuck you want to add to it, right? It's BS, the longer the job title. Same thing when it comes to all these unnecessarily, I want to say made up jargon that people tend to use when it comes to these things. Culturally appropriative or problematic. Those are two that you hear just nonstop. If someone says problematic, you know that you're about to get a conversation or into a conversation with somebody that's, I don't even want to use the word woke, but you know that you're going to get into a conversation with somebody that's probably going to end up shaking and running away because they're chronically online. And here, let me just go back to the actual post. White performers using Chinese coins for magic is inherently culturally appropriative or problematic. Do you think so? Or do you think that it depends on context and presentation? Now, I've looked at this already. I've already gone through the comments. The guy already has a pre-existing belief, which is that it's already culturally appropriative. It's already cultural appropriation if you, as a white performer, uses Chinese coins, right? That's already part of the argument that he is in the belief of. So whenever somebody comes in and disagrees with his point, he comes in and defends the argument, even though what he's saying here is, or do you think it depends on context and presentation? So he gives himself an out here, saying, oh, do you think that this isn't something that's racist, but it depends on the context. However, he doesn't believe this last part, this little tag along. He doesn't believe that himself, because the moment somebody questions it and goes, okay, we're doing this now, he goes, doing what? It's a legitimate question for 2021. Magic has a responsibility, in other words, to think about things like this, as does any art form. If there's no issue, great, there's no issue. But if you're implying that it's not even worth investigating, that in and of itself is an issue. Well, if there's no issue, there's no issue. There's no issue, Michael. I don't understand why you gotta... So I just wanted to provide this as context. I already made a whole video on this, and this was just what got my... just a little bit of a piggy tiff when it came to Facebook and their comments. And then recently I was perusing through the Magicians Only, and I happened to have missed this. I missed this point in regards to a certain combination of words that are very offensive. If you haven't seen my video, for some odd reason you haven't watched my video, you should be ashamed of yourself. But try to think as to what could potentially be problematic language that a magician uses. A language that a magician uses that could spark a dialogue in regards to the use of certain words that could be misconstrued or offensive, if you haven't seen my video. And if you have and you put it, you should be ashamed of yourself too, because you're not being any smarter. You just watched my video, which says a lot about you. So let me look at the comment section here. Pepsi Addict says, yo, I guess because I said Pepsi by accident, but I really meant to say Publix Coke. PigCake, pronounce this word. Sphere. Sphere. Am I fucking that up? Cameron says, shout out to Primark. What I noticed, by the way, about Primark is that I was a huge fan. The Primark over there is definitely way better than the Primark here. They have one in Florida, but it's like 40 minutes north. And it's expensive. It's expensive for shit clothes. But Primark in the UK is cheap, and you're getting cheap clothes, but you expect it. But this jean jacket was pretty good. It's of good quality. It has nice pockets. The stitching is decent, especially for $10. I'm not going to complain. However, it does depend on where you go. So there are certain Primarks that feel like I'm shopping in the hood, and there are other Primarks that look a little bit more refined and clean. And I was like astonished at the fact that they were selling shit for very cheap and very good quality. I'm still wearing one of the beanies that I got over there. But over here, it's not worth it. I imagine because they're importing. Ben Shapiro says, hola PC, been watching from the beginning, but chat would not let me chat. Maybe it's because your name's Ben Shapiro. Maybe that's why. And YouTube is trying to hold the man down. And you can make an argument that they're holding down the Jew because of that. Because they're holding down Ben Shapiro, a very notable Jew. And I imagine you're also Jewish yourself, unless your username is which you've told me before, it's not a reference to Ben Shapiro. It's just your name. So I figure it probably is that you guys have that in common. I think misanthropes is the word. That's another one, Larry. Anytime misogynistic, right? Those istic words, even though istic, you don't need to add that. They like to add that to, again, add more syllables to a word to make it seem like what they're doing is not made up academia. It's actually something that comes from, peer-reviewed, which, judging by the way things are going now, even the peer-reviewed things are becoming a little bit more aggressive in terms of what we're going to get into here in a minute. Denim. Well, it's only one denim. If I was wearing more denim, which, by the way, I'm kind of upset as to how bright this is. I apologize. Usually there's a little bit more care to the video here. But for now, we're going to have to deal with this amount of the ISO is, I guess, way too high. But alas, this is a one-man show, baby. So your boy's doing this. Look at this. I got the drops.
This is the neighborhood, and you are not welcome.
That's actually quite relevant to what we're going to talk about. But I'm not wearing the Canadian suit, which is denim, denim, denim. I'm wearing actually a shirt that says Party in the USA that I stole from my friend's wife. And I'm also wearing this, again, from Primark. Total value, $15, my outfit. It's like that video that Jabrizi does where he talks about his fit. Even though I know that he got his jewelry from Icebox. He's like, oh, yo, my chain, $14,000, 14 bands. My jacket, whatever, $3,000. I'm like, nah, I don't know. I doubt those. Although he is making a lot of Facebook money. So I could be eating my own words here. Hungry and Hungover says, I've been thinking about coin magicians. Is the greatest thing. Yeah, did I delete it? Yeah, I did. Let me open up the tab here again. Sorry. Like, you just imagine him there being the thinker. Just going, I've been thinking about coin magic. He's there in his study while his wife's getting railed by a fucking black dude. Sorry. I just feel like that might be the vibe that I feel with this. I've been thinking about coin magicians who use coins in their work. So he's there. His wife's just getting his wife is just getting one of the fucking, his wife is just fucking destroyed by a BBC, just disgustingly. And he's there I'm just thinking about coin magicians and how they use Chinese coins. Notice how I put the computer down because I didn't want to fuck the table so hard that I lose my 10-year-old laptop. Fuck, buy my book. That's what that means. Buy my book. All right, we're good. So yeah, so that's what I imagine too. It's kind of cringe that this guy's out here thinking. Big news, ladies and gentlemen. The View from Down Here is available now. Yes, it is. The View from Down Here is available now. Also, an update on the playing cards. I'm going to update on the Kickstarter page in a bit. However, I am pending the contract. So I approved the proofs, and I'm pending on the contract, which for some reason is taking a while for them to get back with me. So that's kind of annoying, but I guess they are the #1 playing card company in the planet. So I have to imagine they're going to take a little while to get back to me. But I'm pretty sure I should put a Kickstarter update so people don't think that I'm scamming and stealing your money. Let's see here. Should I buy Holy Wood by Hanson Chen, or is that culture appropriation? No, you can't buy anything as a white man that has any sort of... so anything from Wish.com, you're fucked. Anything from... you have to stick to your own culture, which is, by the way, disgusting. You guys have no culture as a white man. Let's see. I guess I have an evil twin, says my former partner. Let me see here. Sorry, I know that I'm digressing here. What's the best book you've ever read? Art of Astonishment is my favorite magic book series of all time. It's tricks you're never going to do, but you are going to get inspired to come up with stuff. So Art of Astonishment by Paul Harris is probably the best that I've read. It's also the first, so it's kind of biased. They're the first big major magic book that I've had. So I would say Cameron, that Art of Astonishment. I'm trying to think of other ones. As much as it pains me to admit, Peter Turner's more recent book is tremendous. It has just retardedly good ideas. I'm trying to think of other stuff, but those are the ones that come to mind. Believe it or not, Magic for Dummies is another one that's great. Magic for Idiots is another great one. Street Magic for Idiots by Tom Ogden and David Pogue. Those are underrated, amazing books. Oh, my nuts. My nuts. He was thinking about coin magic at the same time his wife was being railed by a BBC, whilst he was in a corner of the same room crying, wearing clown shoes. Every hotel has a cuck chair. By the way, that's just a thing. If you haven't noticed that chair's for the cuck to sit in while he watches his wife get fucked. So let me take out coin magic here, and let's go to the main nitty gritty of this, which is not the coin magic, but this one right here. So if you guessed the term was ladies and gentlemen, you'd be correct. We have a post by Tom Crosby from September 5th of 2022. I'd be remiss to admit that this is probably the biggest tragedy that's happened. I don't think he's from America, but this is definitely the biggest tragedy that happened in September, I would say, in this century ever. So let me just go back here real quick, give myself one of these, one of those, and go back to it. I just feel like I had to. So, Tom Crosby says, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it about time that we retire that phrase? Post-pandemic, I made a real effort to stop using it. So, again, a lot of me searched. There's a lot of There's a lot of just nothing but me. I stopped using it. Oh, if you don't, well, then you're just a bad person. I'm not using that phrase anymore because it's not inclusive. You have to be inclusive. You're not inclusive? Huh. Interesting. I made a real effort to stop using it, and barring a couple autopilot mistakes, oh yeah, a couple mistakes. Who would have thought using such a phrase like ladies and gentlemen is an autopilot mistake? It's been real easy. Clearly not if you've had some mistakes of fighting against your own instinct. Folks, that's one that every time I see the word folks, I just want to punch a puppy. Friends or everyone is totally inclusive. Now, up to here, right? Actually, no, never mind. I made a mistake because I was going to say, see, if you're doing this within your show, as I mentioned in my video, whatever, that's up to you. You know, it's up to you, whatever you say in your fucking show, however you want to introduce whatever it is that you want to do. However, here, isn't it about time we retire the phrase? We, us, you should retire the phrase. And here he mentions about 5% of young people in the U.S. identify as trans/non-binary, and 0.5 of all people in the U.K. are non-binary. So because of that, we need to maybe think of a different way to introduce our shows or introduce some sort of public piece that doesn't involve saying, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting, the kettle calling the pot black, but I digress. And here we have a bunch of comments. This is what I want to get into here. Now, when I read through this for the first time, obviously my ability to ever get laid ever again was put in immediate jeopardy. Any opportunity of me ever seeing a woman naked, their beautiful slits, is gone. Just because I was reading through a comment section in a magicians only group on Facebook in regards to the terms ladies and gentlemen. Right now, as I mentioned in my video, I also think that I'm also being a little bit of I'm creating a straw man here because he doesn't say offensive, right? But he heavily implies here that ladies and gentlemen is problematic. Right? He doesn't say problematic, but again, it's very heavily implied here. So I know that I'm saying that it's offensive, but I'm putting two and two together based on what he said. But yes, you can make an argument saying he never said it was offensive, and then we get into a semantic debate. And so if going through the comments section, I found a lot of people tend to disagree, but more people tend to agree. More people tend to agree, which is worrisome for many different factors. Now, yes, you could argue as to being inclusive in your shows, but when it comes to ladies and gentlemen, is this where you want to stick your flag? Is this where you want to really put your pin in?
You could stop at 5 or 6 stores or just one.
Take my wife, please.
Magic Buzz drops, what is that, $100 American? Gives me $13.99 in Canadian dollars. Your only downside, Magic Buzz, I did get your message, by the way, and yes, I think, as a matter of fact, the next one that I do of this, I'd like to have you on. I think that'd be great. We could have a little bit of a fun show talking about conspiracies, which aren't conspiracies, by the way. They're real. They're things that are for real. Things that are happening. But thank you. I appreciate those $100 US dollars, otherwise known as $13.99 Canadian bucks. And I will gladly sit in a chair and watch you with your wife. But I'm not going to take your wife, just out of respect. Out of respect, I'm not going to take your wife. I'll be sitting in the cuck chair. I do have a fun story that involves that, but I don't think I can mention it. Or I don't think I want to. But it involves sex. Maybe I'll keep that for a ham radio down the line if Daniel ever decides to want to do one. Let's see. Okay. Do a DNA test and see if you got anything non-white. You could pretend to be full. Yeah. So you're pretty much saying the Elizabeth Warren move is what you're getting at. Hane. Iker says, I self-identify as black. I think you're actually black. So you could do that if you're actually black. Speaking of magicians who've written books, have you ever gotten back to Diamond Jim? No, I didn't. I was kind of being, I actually forgot, to be honest, because I was talking to somebody else about something else that I'm potentially putting out that I can't talk about, that I hope actually works out, that I'm pitching. I'm actually pitching. I should be honest. I'm in the pitching stage of this particular product, and I hope that some people pick it up. Although I do think that I have one person that actually might, that saw my video with this particular item and is interested. So I'll keep you updated on that. Good evening, Piggy, says Magic for Beginners. What's up, dog? Good to see you here in your infinite height. Wow, I never knew what that's what the hotel chair was for. Yes, it's for the cuck. Everyone had, like, they used to have Bibles. No, now they have the cuck chair. I identify as a billionaire, and I expect to be treated as one. Should say people of all genders. Yeah, let's just come up with alternatives. I guess that was my point in the video, right? Everybody in this chat, their boy has the N-word, and I can't. I would usually repeat that. Iker, but I'm on thin ice on YouTube, so unfortunately I cannot repeat that glorious word. Which, by the way, in Miami we use as a dog, we use as a man, as sup dude. We use that. It's just, you know, a certain group of people that aren't black tend to be offended by that word. But in my experience, every person that I know that is of that descent does not have any offense to that. As a matter of fact, they call me that and I call them that because that's what it is. But to the one white girl that gets offended at that, she's the reason why I can't repeat that word. She's the reason. So my point when it came to this particular video that I made about this was that you're never going to appease everyone. So if you try to be more inclusive, what's going to happen is that your alternative is going to offend the same inclusive group that you are trying to cater to. So if we look at the comments here, which is, I guess, what I was going to get into, I think it need to be something that mimics the rhythm of Ladies and Gentlemen, almost. Not sure what he, by the way, this is already offensive and gendered, he used to replace it, but I do agree with you. Patrick, why do you say that? Ladies and Gentlemen has a nice ring that draws people in and gets their attention, whereas Folks is too blunt. Well, maybe, how about this? How about use Ladies and Gentlemen? I don't know, right? Is that one? Maybe it's that one? Friends? If you want something that sounds like Ladies and Gentlemen, how about Ladies and Gentlemen? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me exactly, and I'm not getting political here, right? Had it been a socialist conservative meeting, I would bring it up just the same. But this reminds me of the Democratic Socialist Convention. This is a famous set of videos. I don't know if you're familiar with what it is that I'm talking about. Let me see if I could look it up here. But it is, I think both parties would agree, the cringiest convention to ever take place. Democratic Socialist Convention. I would agree that I think most people would probably find this on both sides cringy. So what they had here were, it was a convention, I believe, of people that consider themselves to be socialist. And it is just rife with the cringiest group of people. Let me see if I could smoothly transition here. You were allowed to make a point of privilege. So if you had something that you wanted to say, you had to raise your hand. And it reminds me of this, where I believe the main organizer is some dude dressed in like a green fucking jacket. I don't think it's this video, but I'm trying to remember what the guy said. I believe it was something to the effect of, guys. Yeah, I think it might have been that. He said, guys. And because of that, somebody in the audience lost their minds. So I don't know if I could find this particular one. My goodness, I really hope I don't get this shit recommended to me nonstop now. I might just fucking jump off the nearest cliff. But it was in this convention. And they had, it was guys. So it reminds me of that. That somebody said guys, and then you see him in the audience just like crunching his fist, going, point of privilege. I would appreciate if you didn't use gendered language like guys. And they, of course, had a hissy fit from the term guys, which is, by the way, guys applies to both. It's not just for dude. If you go, hey guys, guys and girls and whatever in between, is they're both gonna understand what you mean. It's gender neutral. It's not a gender term. Yes, guys, you could imply whatever, but typically if you say it in a crowd, it means whoever's involved in that crowd. Guys. As a teacher, I found myself saying that a lot. Hey guys, yo, do you mind trying to do something here? Right? Everyone within that group knows what you're talking about. Whereas here, again, this is the type of crowd that you're trying to appease. So I feel like if you use whatever, you're still going to offend someone. And here he gives alternatives like folks, friends, or everyone. No matter what, you're going to end up getting somebody's fucking panties in a knot. And for what point? If the whole point was to be more inclusive and to get people to feel more wanted, what are you going to do when you alienate another group, another smaller group within that group? Then you're going to have to change that. And it's always going to be this perpetual cycle of you having to change your language because somebody gets offended. So you're never going to appease. You're always going to be in this situation where you're changing your shit constantly. And if we look at the comment section, there are a lot of different takes on it. This one I was going to get into. I know that there was one. I now say, ladies and gentlemen, and people of all stripes and rainbows. So, like, what's the point? We don't need to get rid of ladies and gentlemen. Just be inclusive of non-binary people too at the same time. In Haven, they're no longer allowed to use the word ladies and gentlemen as staff, but just say, hello, Haven. That's because somebody complained, I'm sure, and said, hey, we noticed that you used something like ladies and gentlemen. Again, is this really where you're sticking your staff? This is where you're sticking your point and where you want to address an important societal issue. This is really what you think needs attention on it. I should have said, just get rid of just ladies and gentlemen. The creative martyrs say ladies and gentlemen and those not assigned. A friend of mine says guys, gals, and non-binary pals. If I go to your show and you started off by saying, hey, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, I'm leaving. I'm walking away. So I'm not included. How about me? The people that get offended at the term. at the term. So we come full circle here, right? Nicotine dolls, check yes, Juliet. Yeah, where'd you see that? Fuck. Did that come up? It's a guilty pleasure. Yes, I enjoy that mashup of Love Story and Check Yes Juliet by We the Kings. Is that?
This is the neighborhood, and you are not welcome.
Before my YouTube recommendations outs me more. But how about me? I'm not included now. As a person that gets offended by your attempt to be more inclusive. And by that virtue, you're not inclusive. Because I would say more than just 5% or 0.5% of the people that you are trying to cater to. I'm probably, I would say 50 to 60%. So what about me? I got nipples. Can you milk me, Greg? It's the same shit. So by your own rules, it could be defeated by a little bit of a twist in logic. Let's see what you guys have to say here. How about fellow humans and crackheads, which would be appropriate if the term, what is it? Pals, whatever I just said that I don't even want to repeat. Honey, that's my new opening line. Fellow humans and crackheads. Sup, crackheads? How you doing? Hey, good to see you again. Without the crack in your mouth. That's a good way to start a show. Really gets the mood going. Good evening, human beings would probably offend someone. Yeah, it would probably offend one of these people that identifies animals. One of the, I forgot what they're called, other kin. Oh, if you want a rabbit hole, look up other kin, and you'll find yourself down a deep and dark rabbit hole. Jerry Sadowitz had the right idea in Canada when he walked on stage and opened with, good evening, moose fuckers. He did get punched in the face, though. I keep hearing about Jerry Sadowitz, and all I know him is that he's the guy that made that repeat it thing. But every time I try to look something up, I don't find much. I know that he's the one that made, think of a color, all right, red or black, just say it over in your head, like red, red, red. That bit. I thought that he was the one to come up with that. I think Darren Brown gave him the crediting. But, and I also hear that he's kind of like I hate to use badass, but he's good when it comes to this sort of stuff. Like he's based as fuck, as I like to say. But what can I find that's his work, Toby? Magic for Beginners said, I spied it on the side. Both great songs. Pure emo. Yeah, check Jess Juliet, or otherwise known as Run Baby Run. a great song. Although I'm not a fan of Love Story. I'm a fan of the combination. If the term ladies and gentlemen seriously offends a grown man, they should be drafted into combat immediately. No, that's the opposite. That's if you want us to have the worst army of all time. But to me, I just see it as a non-issue that this guy's making an issue for, just to remind people, hey, guys, remember me, which is not just a movie with the guy from Twilight, Remember Me, that takes place in 9/11. That's the twist. I hate to ruin it, but it is 9/12. I always make the joke that, that's making me want to plan 9/12, right? Like the sequel to 9/11. Every time I see something that upsets me. So it makes sense because today's 9/12. Today's finally the day. But in that movie with, I forgot what his name is, the guy from Twilight, the guy from Harry Potter, Edward. Fuck, this is going to drive me nuts. He was in another movie, The Lighthouse, recently. Great actor, Batman. Tremendous guy. And what the fuck was I going with that? Where was I going with that? I don't want you to think that I forgot what I was going to say or where I was going. Oh, Remember Me, the movie. The whole twist is that the entire movie is kind of like a boring sort of romance. And then it's mundane. Then you realize the movie takes place on 9/11. And at the end, the twist is that he's in the top floor of the building waiting for his dad in the morning of 9/11. And you could rewatch the movie and see all the clues. Because you get to see on the chalkboard, certain events that were taking place before 9/11 in school and things like that. Great movie. But upon first watch, Robert Pattinson, there you go. But upon first watch, it's a little bit drab and boring. But once you get to that twist, you just, oh, shit. Too bad I ruined it for you. I'm finally here to lose the virginity I lost, says Steve Brooksy. To gain the virginity. Because we're going over the use of non-binary terms in Magic. I've seen people play it off as a joke. That's a dick move. Let's see what he talks about here. I've heard guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Not for me, but it does include everyone. What I dislike is ladies, gentlemen, and those who aren't sure. Or ladies and gentlemen and everyone else. Yeah, I've seen people play it off as a joke. That's a dick move. Okay, Tom. Yeah, me too. It's a cheap laugh at others' expense punching down. Is it really punching down? I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between has worked for me, which this guy seems to be pretty close to this. Let's see what he responds, if he responds at all. Big fan of Friends. No, he doesn't respond, because I guess this is too close to the previous one that he disagreed with. Let's wait till there's an argument here. This one, we absolutely have to move on. It will take time in general society. I suspect we have personal experiences of a change of a pronoun of a family member, and I'll confess, I do still make mistakes. Come on. Despite my best efforts. But as performance, we're scripting shows, so we could certainly find something better that we could learn and use in our scripts. Then nothing wrong with making mistakes as long as you're making an effort. Fuck off. So this, I'm trying to get to where there's meat and potatoes here. I cannot agree more. Inclusive language is not difficult to make such a difference. No, it doesn't. Especially if you get offended at the term fucking ladies and gentlemen. I think, actually, no, I was going to say, I think the most adamant of person that considered himself a non-binary individual would probably not get offended if you start the show of ladies and gentlemen. But I've been proven wrong. I work at a college bar, plenty of diversity. Nobody gets upset over those things. They all understand. I miscall gender all the time. You say sorry, nice to meet you. Nobody expects you to know the situation until you meet and get to know them. So ladies and gentlemen is just fine and understood as being all-inclusive. Jonathan Cam. Whoa, that's crazy. Considering, I do recall, let me actually go back here. I think Jonathan Cam was one of the ones in the coin one. No, my bad. Now I have to reload this one as well. Fuck off. I fucked up. No, I already erased it. I think Jonathan Cam was one of the ones in the coin, the Chinese coin one. Or I remember having beef with Jonathan Cam. I think it might have been for Di Vernon in a video where I said Di Vernon was an asshole in the sense of a family man. And all the old magicians were like, Di Vernon was a legend. I'm not saying that he was a bad magician. What I'm saying is that he was a bad person because he was a bad father. You see, it's an easy connection to make. But they didn't watch past the title. So I think I had some words with Jonathan Cam before, but here he's pretty based. Jonathan, I have a good friend who's non-binary and they feel a little bit excluded. Yeah, so because of that change, the entirety of Magic and their use of the word ladies and gentlemen, because one of your friends feel a little bit excluded by the term ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand? But if a tiny change in my act can make 1 in 100 people feel more comfortable, then I'm going to do it, especially when that change doesn't make the slightest difference to me. Shut up. Also, I feel like this debate will be looked back at the same way that we look at trans-exclusive language. So he's also bringing in things from other places just to add to his argument. Jonathan, give it time. I think I'll do just the opposite. People do their own thing and not be bothered by others. And then this guy writes a whole FCAT essay, I guess. Your example is inaccurate. In a mixed audience, you will see there's both male and female. You will know to include them. Most of them who like to identify as others do not wear tags. That crap would be, all right, some references and shit. Unlike broad, all right. There's no need to get to this discussion level over the term ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, there's 333 comments here. 333 comments. As I mentioned in my video, it's kind of a coincidence that happens to be half of a certain number to deal with satanic diaspora, to use a term from the other fucking comment. But you notice here that there's a lot of back and forth. If somebody's offended by ladies and gentlemen, they're probably not my target audience, so I'm not changing it. What's your target audience? People that know to have a good time and not whiny snowflakes. I'll stand beside you as the arrows fly for this response. And there are lots of arrows. So this, I think, is the biggest straw man here, where it says, I'll stand beside you as the arrows fly. So non-binary folk don't know how to have a good time. He doesn't mention that. What he mentions is that the people that would be offended by that sort of language is not what he fucking means here. It's your target audience, 12 replies. I didn't say anything about non-binary, gay, or anything like that, but if it's just a fragile flower that addressing you properly offends you, you're probably not going to like my show anyways. Just, oh, God, what a fucking cesspool. All started by a guy who's like this right now. Guys, enjoying his little comment section that he started a flame war in for no fucking reason. And then you have to, so let's get into the natural progression of this, right? It's going to start off by, okay, don't say ladies and gentlemen. Then now you have to use more inclusive language. All right, what's inclusive language? That's subjective. It depends on each group that you perform for. Now you have to cater to that. Then eventually it's going to get into one of the fringe sorts of groups that you're now trying to cater to. The Zerzims and the Z's and the Z's and all the other ones that are made up. When is it going to end for that? It's not. So it's always going to be a perpetual cycle where you're going to be offending anyone. So might as well use the least offensive term in all of the English language, which is ladies and gentlemen. I understand if you come up on stage and you go, sup, and you drop a hard N, right? That's a hard way to start a show. I would maybe wait 10 minutes before you start dropping hard N's in your show. But ladies and gentlemen, and to make a point and to argue back and forth with people, Dave, already 10 times more interesting than ladies and gentlemen. Can I hear a big cheer from all my fellow humans in the house? And, of course, Tom says 10 times more interesting than ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, but then what if they don't identify as human? What if they're fucking dog people or whatever? Same shit. Come on. This one, oh, hello, ladies and jelly spoons. So people are providing alternatives. Oh, boy. This guy says, I identify as mate and gentleman. I feel excluded if I'm not referred to as such. 20 replies. Really? Yes. You take personal offense anytime you're not directly referred to as mate or gentleman. I'm sorry. Life must be very difficult for you. That's funny. He goes, mate was predictive text. It should be male. I think mate is better. But I like this because he is essentially making the same argument. Leonard Dragon is making the exact same argument as Tom Crosby here. However, for the opposite side. And you see that he gets people disagreeing with him. So obviously I'm not showing you this, but just to show you quickly. But this guy, that's excellent because he's essentially saying, hey, no, I get offended if you don't use these terms. How about you use these terms to cater to me? Which pretty much the exact same argument he's making. I just like the back and forth here. And I thought that's pretty based, I would say. It sounds like you are the one who's offended, Leonard, says Victoria in regards to Leonard Dragon. Leonard Dragon, you have won. You have won. I'd give you the pin of glory if possible. But I don't know. I don't know, my friends. I feel like when it comes to shit like this, there are other pressing matters that are better and more pertinent than worrying about the use of ladies and gentlemen. Oh, God. And yes, they try to cater for the emotional side and saying, wouldn't you like to make somebody in the audience feel special? Yeah, but the likelihood is that if this person's getting offended by your use of ladies and gentlemen, more likely than not, they're going to get offended if you happen to use another thing to replace that or any other point in your show where you have something else that could be potentially misconstrued. So that's what I feel. And I rather err on the side of caution and say, ladies and gentlemen, rather than try to acquiesce to a person that's going to raise their hand in a democratic, socialist convention and say, point of privilege, the term guys is offensive. Everything's going to be offensive. So that's my point. Jonathan Kem is a great magician too. He created Toy Box, great routine. But we had beef, I believe. We had beef because of that comments I made on Di Vernon. So if he's pretty based, then you know what? I take it back. I take back my beef. Punching down is when you'll be banned or boycotted for joking or speaking against them. Truly the minority, says Pepsi Addict. A simple coin mentalism effect. If you rub a U.S. Coin, one side is different. So if you flip it, yeah, that's is on Magic for Dummies. So that's a great one from a very simple book that I think people would skip. Piggy, I think you're on top messages and not all messages. I don't think you're seeing all the comments. I put it on live chat. So if I didn't see the comment, then I'm being a prick. But I put it on live chat. Top chat should be abolished. You know what? I'm going to make a Facebook post and say, hey, guys, as a professional YouTube streamer, I have to say that I'm oppressed by the fact that YouTube decides what they think is good for me to see. No. I want to see all the comments. Abolish top chat on the chat. Abolish top chat. We don't need top chat anymore. All right, and I'll picket and riot for top chat. That whole bit, by the way, was that. Pig, it's time for me and the wife to go to sleep. Give us some words of wisdom for the night. Inspire us. I hope you have me dreams. I hope I'm your sleep demon, sleep paralysis demon. Let's go through here. Social media isn't real life, says Steve Brooksy. I agree. I feel like me and Steve Brooksy would do this, like that. We'd be that GIF with I think it's Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, maybe, or Arnold Schwarzenegger and somebody else. I think whoever played Apollo, hitting and then just being jacked and flexing. I feel like that would be you and I. Gender miscall principle, says Steve Brooksy. That's the next one I'm putting up on the Academy. The gender miscall. It's a great way to do predictions in real time. Fuck. Hey, Piggy, did you hear about Paul Romani's new trick, the missing piece? I don't know where he got the name. Paul Romani's trick, the missing piece. Is he calling his trick named after the greatest deck? The best-selling deck of this generation? Fuck. I'm sure it's a very common thing. It's not because he's inspired by me, but I would like to imagine that somebody out there is inspired by that. Gotta lead with my piggas. It's funny that I could say piggas. Somebody at my job got offended when I said good morning, since they were not having a good morning. You know, I think this has been a slow one, so because of that, I'm going to give you... Okay, never mind. I have to... Which fucking is it? Is it shift? Oh, sorry, my bad. Fuck. I have to give you the pin of glory for that one because it made me giggle, Steve Brooksy. That one definitely made me giggle. And the quality of this stream hasn't been great. So I feel like you definitely earned that with the quality of your comment there. But just to summarize this point of this comment thread, it's not that important. Shut up. I don't claim to represent the whole community, but I've never heard anyone complain about that phrase. Perhaps a non-binary crowd might, but if you feel you're excluding them, say ladies and gentlemen and non-binary folks, 30 replies. You could tell. Now, there's a lot of magicians that would tend to agree with Tom Crosby, which is worrisome, but it makes sense. They're magicians. This one writes a entire paragraph talking about as a non-binary person. All right. Some of y'all are really telling on yourself. Somebody says, what's a non-binary person? It sounds like it's out of Star Trek. So this guy hasn't been aware of the internet. I wish I had that. Chris Frost, which makes sense. Frosty, snow. Flake. Chris Frosty puts his fourth comment here, leaving another essay. And then there's some other comments here talking about how magicians have always been way past or way behind on their times when it comes to the use of language and stuff. All right, whatever. So ladies and gentlemen, the whole point is shut up. It's not that important. It's not that necessary, and you're always going to offend somebody. So if you change your show, you're always going to have to constantly be changing your show. And if that's something you want to do, then by all means do it. But you're telling other people what to do in their shows. You're telling other people what to do in their performances. And that's why I have to go, nobody. Let me put my hand on your chest. You could do it in your shows. You could call them whatever the fuck you want to. All right? But when you say, hey, you do this, we should retire this, we should, and here are reasons, well, you're opening it up to the public, and I'm in the public. So I could say, no, buddy, I disagree. I was going to say something here, but I don't have... actually, I do. I'll just keep it to myself. But if you know, you know. Let's see. Let's see if I could use some Peter Turner mentalism here. Some, what do you call this? Some of my Darren Brown. Some of my best Bob Cassidy. Some of my best Dunninger. But let's see if you know what I'm thinking right now in regards to the poster and the whole comment thread. Okay, if you know what I'm thinking right now. Gender is a social construct. I'm not a woman since I like ping pong and grizzly bear. Fuck. That doesn't beat the other one, though. So this one, I guess, is the next bit. I love the Carbonaro effect. I haven't seen the show in its entirety, but I've been watching it on TikTok, little dumb accounts, and I love it. I think this is the best thing to ever happen in Magic, and if you think otherwise, you are a fool. So this is, I forgot what his name, Angelo, I believe, or if somebody could correct me what his actual name is. Carbonaro, but it's tremendous. You have a show where guys has a hidden camera and participants don't know that they're witnessing magic tricks, but it's presented as, oh look, here's a product that's a brand new. This is a pen that writes on both sides of a certain thing, or here's this thing that hides in this way. And every time I watch one of these, I'm just blown away by the creativity. Now, there are some questionable camera angles, and I think it's very clever. Now, the comments are annoying because people are... they don't fucking know the actual methods and they're speculating annoyingly. But the camera cuts cover a lot of the methodology. Because the methodology, imagine, if you're performing one-on-one to a person that doesn't expect a performance, you could fucking do anything. You could pull anything from your pocket. You could change things without them worrying. Hey, could you grab that real quick? I'm sorry, I dropped a coin. Could you pick that up? You change fucking objects. It doesn't matter because you're performing for one person that doesn't know that they're being performed on. So there's no necessity to pay attention. And we know that in public, you're not paying attention anyways. So assuming that they're real, which I think a lot, at least 90, I want to say 90, even 8% of the reactions have been real as far as I'm concerned. And the other two, I just can't figure out the fucking method. But what I love the most about the show is just the genuineness in the participants. When it gets them, when the whatever magic happens and they're there and they're present in a moment, whenever that takes place, that to me is just a money shot. And that doesn't involve the sperm. So I really enjoy watching these little clips. Let's actually watch this one where I believe he writes
stuff for windshields so you can clean your windshield from both sides.
Both sides?
Yeah, like look at this. So if you have stuff on this side, obviously that's the front. Oops, I think I'm writing that wrong. It's kind of hard to do that way. And then the back over here.
Such a great little effect.
On the back bit. Okay. Now, Here, take the cloth. You know, you wipe that away. You can wipe just the front away, obviously. Yeah, see, just the front goes. But a little bit of this, a little microfiber cloth with this, right? The arrow spritz, it'll actually wipe from the other side. So you can get bugs off that way, or they're using it in high rises. Apparently it helps get moisture inside of a building. Yeah.
Well, you would think that glass has got density. I mean, there's two separate surfaces.
Yeah, it's really good. Where's my? I use
And
this
people
stuff
just
on
try
my
to break it
glasses.
down. Now, again, I'm assuming that these are real. Just the reactions seem very genuine. And it does make sense with the cutaways as to how this could be possible to do for real people. Again, it's very easy, especially when they don't know that they're being performed for. So just watching this, it's fucking amazing. And I hate to be such a virgin
And
about
we're
it.
bringing patients
But
in one.
little things, there was one that I saw him do. I hope that I could find it here. Let's see.
This is like a regular orange. This does look like a regular. You know,
This is like a security orange, I believe.
This has got to be.
This one got me.
I need to make.
Great.
Fuck, I should have saved it. If I was a little bit more intelligent, I would fucking
over here is
save the one that I was referring to. But it's great, again, because these people aren't
You haven't seen
expecting
these?
anything. And when something impossible happens, they get this
This over
genuine
here.
reaction that's just completely impossible.
Okay.
I believe... I think I was watching this one.
Copy.
Okay.
I need a new copy of my driver's license.
Oh, I could do that for you.
Okay. Just one copy.
Okay. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was just messing with this thing. These big machines, it's like... It was
I
like
have no idea. I have some at the office, but they're a lot smaller than that.
I know. This is like the big mammoth one, but the thing is like totally...
Jammed.
Yeah, 4 cartridges and they're all getting
Yeah.
jammed. I usually end up taking the little, you know, photoreceptor out of it.
Yeah.
Do you have trouble with the
Better
photoreceptor?
idea. I usually
Okay, I did not watch this
Oh,
one.
yeah. But this is, it'll be thick, is that right?
I think so.
That's fine. Yeah, that should make it work. Let me see what we have here. Let me put this on. Oh yeah, they keep getting messed up, and it's like I have to end up doing all of these things by hand. I remember even how to do that. Oh yeah. Scan.
Fuck off.
Most of that there, right? That'll be pretty good.
See, again, assuming
Yeah,
this is
this-
a real performance.
Yeah,
Work
that'll be
for
good.
me.
Did you ever have to do one by hand before?
No.
Oh yeah, these little guys.
That's nice.
It's easy, right?
Makes sense, though.
I know the machine really has like the oops, sorry. The machine really has like the whole
Put a copy on.
Huh?
You put a copy on the cup.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah, I really should take this thing off. Yeah.
Yo, fuck off, man.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. No, meant back.
funny than anything, but
Yeah? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's why they leave them in the machines.
yes, Taylor.
No, seriously. I'm not supposed to get... Oh, that's funny.
Oh, look at the ceiling.
Oh, my God. Dude, okay, wait,
See,
let
I'd
me
lose
put
my
this
shit.
back in.
I would
Sorry.
lose my fucking mind.
Yeah. Sorry. Do you want this as one of the copies?
No.
You sure? Just this?
Yeah.
It's
Okay. Let me get that other order for you. Wow. Yeah, hang on tight. Sorry about that.
how great is that? Holy shit. Hungry and Hungover says, imagine being stoned and running into that guy. You would think he's a fucking alien. I would lose my mind. I've never been stoned, but I've been very hammered. As a matter of fact, this weekend, boy, man, I got drunk as fuck. I went to a soccer game. One of my friends was playing a game. I think it was one of these championship little regional things. And I was hammered watching soccer. A lot of MILFs like watching these small regional soccer games. Oh boy, I was taken aback by how many just hot moms were there. Without fathers, by the way. I didn't see any dads around. I didn't see any of their men. I just saw them. And I was just astonished by how many MILFs. And also, what was... I'm trying to remember the other day that I was also pretty inebriated. I need to watch out at this age, even though I'm pretty young and still full of cum, just because I get hungover during. I don't know if this happens to you guys that are drinkers, but you get hungover during the actual drinking process, which defeats the drinking process because you want to feel good, you want to lay back and relax. And the last thing that could allow you to do that is when you're trying to fight a violent hangover. So it's the lamest thing in the planet, but it's happened to me more as of late. But Carbonaro Effect, I'm going to look up 4 episodes. I think it's probably the best magic show
over here is the new
that I've
vegetable
seen
cutter.
in the past 10 years, just because the presentation and the way everything is done. It's presented as if it's, you're in the service industry and you're helping them out. And, oh, hey, look, here's a product that you should actually check out. And it's just fucking great. I know that I saved another one, but I guess we'll play that on the next one. This one is in regards to a lock. Let me see this one. Why are there pictures of me in a package? But that one is just great, the misdirection. And I think it's such a good idea for a show because, again, all you have to do is you come up with the ideas. The people are not really expecting anything, so you could do anything that you want. You have probably a whole team of people working behind the scenes to get the effect done at any cost, and you have obviously multiple opportunities to get the shot as well. You're also on a time crunch, so I'm sure you can't spend all day on one particular thing, but just tremendous. And you could have social media content for years to come. The MILFs have balls/foot fetish. What about the clocks guy? Let me see if I could pull that email up without showing your identity, or without showing my identity, even though that's been on blast, right, for anybody to watch. Let's see. Let me go through this. Patreon coming soon. Community chats. What does that mean? Community chats is a mobile-only feature that allows you and your fans to connect outside of the comment section and natively on Patreon. So I feel like Patreon is really getting on everything. They're selling individual products, like my book. I was gonna say The Missing Piece. The view from down here, not the view from up here. That's the introduction, written by Peter Turner. That fucker. Federal tax payment confirmation. Oh boy. Cringe magic. Where the fuck is it? Stuff for the live stream. I saw the progressive anagram. I don't know where the cringe clock guy is. Here. My goodness. I need to clean up my email list. Usually I like to be one of these inbox zero fools. Let's see. Make sure to get enough calcium when you're drinking or hungover, and your neurons is actually the calcium that gets depleted. Calcium is responsible for helping to move stuff through the cell wall. I'll keep that in mind. I like to take magnesium as if it does anything. Zinc, just because it makes you cum loads. But as far as hangovers, I try to prepare before the hangover, but you can't. There's always going to be just one of these, just going to be a fucking uppercut to your gut and your head. And now I've come to the point where I just get hungover during. However, I believe the golfer John Daly gave me the best advice, and that controls the hangover well, which is stick to one type. So if you're going to have liquor, only have liquor. And keep it to one type of liquor, I've noticed. So if you're going to have tequila, only stick to tequila. If you're going to have beer, only get beer. I like to get rum. I'm a Captain Morgan sort of guy. So that's what I'll stick to an entire night. And I tend to notice that works out better. Whereas if I get beer and mix it with liquor, then never sicker. If I mix beer or liquor and beer, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You're still going to get a headache and you're still going to deal with that. But if you stick to one, you're good. And this is coming from a guy that drinks a gallon of milk every 2 days. A guy that drinks about 17 Diet Cokes a day and eats candy, and he doesn't drink water. And he's still around. He's still killing it. I believe has a clean bill of health, from my understanding. That guy's an anomaly. Gender identity progressive anagram. Yeah, I noticed that part of it. I think I've used that before to make an anagram of curse words, by the way. Senator is better than Enigma if you're a poor bum. I did mention that in the last live stream, I guess, the whole Enigma stuff. And seeing through the comments in that gives me no hope for the Pope, because it seems like Unbiased has a lot of people that tend to agree with his retarded views. I was also astonished that I don't think he's a doctor. I asked around. He's a male nurse. So whoever said he was a doctor in the last live stream, I think is incorrect. Unbiased Magic Reviews. Let me see if that Enigma showed up. Funny enough, Enigma is very close to a word that I cannot say. All right, sorry for the ear molestation. Where is it? Unbiased, right here. Okay, let's look at the comments section. The whole community has gone overboard with this. I'm a fan of Christians. Let me show you this. Sorry, let me reset the video drivers over here. Fuck. So it says the whole community has gone overboard with this. I'm a fan of Christian, but I won't be buying this after witnessing it live. Magic seems to be the only industry that continues to get away with false advertising, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people that's pushing this more and more. That's retarded, because obviously they're not going to talk about the fucking method in the description of the trick, especially when it comes to something like this, where the entirety of what you're getting is the method. The method is what you're getting here. So why would you talk about that in the description section? The implication here being that the marketing is deceitful, and I've gone through the marketing. It doesn't seem deceitful at all. It's going through exactly what the participant sees. They think of a word, you go through a process, and you find out what that word is. I don't. The thing is that magicians delude themselves into thinking that what they're gonna get is they're gonna get a perfect thing. They're gonna get something that you could have somebody think of a word, and through this magical, invisible process that doesn't involve any work whatsoever, you're gonna figure out what the word is. And no. There's a process. There is a thing. There's something you got to do. That's the same with every trick. But magicians immediately shit on something because they don't know what it entails. Thank you. I work in tech, and the last thing I want to do when performing for fun is use my phone. It's not a phone trick. I think that he emphasized that the phone is part of it. The phone is not part of it. It's not like inject. In inject, the phone is entirely what needs to be used for the actual trick. Do me a favor. Write down a thing. Write down this. Write down that. Okay. That's inject. For this, it's not that. If at all, you take out your phone, you go, let me look something. I'll tell you what, no, we don't need that. Could you just think of this? Could you just think of the words? Think of the letters? Perfect. All right. And then you're into it. That's it. That's the most that you need the phone. And if anything, you might need to look again just to double back and check. But that's about it. The phone is not an active part of the process. The process is right here. Put your hand on my hand. Think of a word. Here you go. Think of the shape. All right. Is this something you could imagine? Is this something you could hold? Great. Things like that. That's the process. The phone is not part of it. And I think that David, or whoever the fuck, whatever his name is, I think it's David, here in his review, that you say he's an ER doctor. Okay, then I need to check my sources here. But I could have sworn that I've heard from a couple people that he was a male nurse. But apart from that, you're obviously not going to get a perfect method. There's going to be a process. There's going to be something that you have to do. Now, the only thing that you could say, yeah, it is pricey. It is pricey. But seeing what went into the app, seeing what went into the work in this, I think that if you're going to want a trick that you could have on you, that you can know, that you could have somebody think of a word, this is the best, because there's no visible compromise. Here's what's going on. Here's the process. You thought of a word. Bam. You could make an argument. Center tear. And do the same process. That's a viable argument, but that's not the argument he made. The argument that he made in this video was, if you're going to use an app, might as well use something like inject, when it's two completely different things. Inject is, here's my phone, make a look or make a search. Do you mind if I borrow your phone if you want to use that method? Or, okay, think of this thing that you searched up. And you could use inject technically to get into this. But again, what he presents here is that inject is an alternative. They're two different things. So what I think Christian is trying to get at here is something that uses an app. It's a process. You could think of a word. Bam, here you go. And the emphasis in this particular video by Unbiased Magic Review is specifically on the use of the app, which is completely underselling it, in my opinion. I am biased because I like Christian, but I would tell you if it was a shitty thing regardless. Reviews is a covert cerebral narcissist who wants other people to feel like he is smarter. Okay, what's up? Steve Brooksy says, I think Unbiased Magic Reviews is a covert cerebral narcissist who wants to feel like he is smarter than other people. I agree. Can you just say that when you show us Reddit and the view of you gets small, I always think it's funny that your background is also Reddit. I don't know what you mean, like, oh, when if I show you something here and scroll in, Mike, I don't know what you're referring to there. Isn't it funny that your background is also Reddit? Unless you're talking about this. I don't know what you're referring to. I might be retarded. I heard his name was Gavid. Good one. Good one, Andrew. Christian did it to Craig Petty over Zoom. No finger touching required, neat trick. Yeah, there's also different alternatives that don't require that. Christian Grace also performed that version for me on a Zoom call. Nailed it. So when it comes to that, again, you're buying the process. The app is supplemental. It does help with the method if you choose not to go completely crazy and memorize it. I guarantee you 99% of people are going to use the app, but the use of the phone is incidental. It's not part of the process. For Inject, it's directly part of the process and the procedure. So you really can't make an argument here. And again, the point being here is that David spends so much time going over the phone. It's an app, and I just want you to know that it's very difficult for, and yeah, okay, but if you use the app and you learn how to use it, you're going to have a trick that is otherwise, I think, objectively tremendous. You could have made the argument about a center tear. You could have made an argument about an alternative, but you didn't. You made arguments that are very easily refutable when it came to this particular trick, and the comments are just, oh my God, thank you, oh, this and that, and it's just fucking, I think, a dumb take. I remember the heat Craig Petty had with Unbiased. I wanted there to be Petty versus Unbiased, but then they reconciled, which is the smarter thing. Yeah, that is the other Dom. Jesus, fuck. I do have to disagree with Craig there. Craig's been really riding up not the coattails, but Craig's been on David's side here for a lot of points, even though David is constantly, shitting on Craig in the comment section and on forums. So I wouldn't be so kind if I was Craig. I'd be out here blasting this fool at every given opportunity. Mike says, yes, your oblong green screen is color keyed to whatever you show when you share your screen. It makes me chuckle. Okay, yeah, there you go. Because I'm dumb. So this, yeah, I think you meant this thing. That it's just like, hey guys, what's up? And then you see the background retardedly as this. Fuck, I need to change that. But then I have to make another thing, and OBS is kind of dumb. Yes, I'm being dumb, but I could definitely fix that. But if you prefer it, I'll keep it. It was YouTube Mike. So Jason, I guess, is talking to that. But apart from that, I guess that's what I want to get into in this particular episode. Carbonaro, Corn Magic. I guess I'll show you the cringe couple on the next PigCast, which is not going to be a magic show. It's going to be a regular show. And then maybe the one after that we'll do as a magic show. We'll talk about things like that. But just the amount of virginity in magic is just so palpable. And these chronically online people also get to my nerves just with this policing of language and the he, hims and the they, thems. And then they'll argue with you saying, no, so what? You're denying elementary school education? You know what you're doing with your he, him and your she, her, okay? Don't pretend like it's a deal with elementary school where you learn, oh, look, he's a him. That's you're going to be referred to as he because, you tend to have a certain body part that makes you a he, which is, of course, null and void now, but that's not the point. So you get into these semantic little arguments where they go, oh, well, it turns out that maybe you should go back to middle school and learn English. No. All right, they, them profile. Looking up on LinkedIn and shit like that on different job sites, the amount of he, hims that I see and she, hers. It's just, why? What are you doing? I could see it. I could see your picture. I could see your name. I could make a general educated assumption. Everything has to be spoon-fed now. Hey, no, I'm a she, her. And if you refer to me as anything else, I'm going to correct you. And I'm going to make you feel bad about it. Even though everything about everything within your fiber of being is giving you to the point where you can make assessments and assumptions. And now I have to correct you because I just want to have something special, something extra, something different. We all take painful shits. We all poop. And sometimes it's a little bit more challenging than others. So there's no need to add more, right? We're all in this together. So now I have to watch what I have to say. No, thank you, Tom. Ugh. What about the clocks? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back just to show you how dedicated I am to you, Steve Brooksy. I'm going to go back on my YouTube history and see if I could find that. So I'm going to go scroll through my YouTube history. Should I show what I've been looking at on YouTube history? Is this going to be okay. You know what? I actually can. I'm going to show you what's on my YouTube history. I might regret this. I scrolled through a little bit of it. I didn't watch this. Every Old Guy Fishing by Gus Johnson. That's fucking weird. Okay, so I didn't watch that. So this is my YouTube history. So let's see what I've been watching. And I'm going to scroll down until I find your specific video that you sent me. I hope that this doesn't out me in any sort of way. But you could see certain videos, lots of murder stuff. I was watching this. I was watching my own video. You Can't Arrest Me. So some stuff. BTK Killer. There's some recent information with him that's absolutely fucking nuts. I didn't watch this. So, okay. That's worrisome that on my account I have videos that I didn't watch. I know that sounds like an excuse to say, hey, I didn't watch this, but I mean it. And that's worrisome when it pops up on my account. Some wrestling stuff, Breatharians, some DSP lore. This is Craig Petty, Enigma. I Need a Peeler. I was looking at the world famous peeler guide, right? So this is the peeler pitch that this guy made was a millionaire because he pitched a peeler in New York, in the streets of New York. Some Zelda shit. Most offensive. So I'm scrolling by until I see your potential video. And I could potentially be outing myself by showing the videos that I watch. So this is my history. Again, very mundane. So far, nothing too controversial. Nothing that I would say is also outing myself. I remember this cheerleader that pretended to have this disorder called dystonia. And then they called her out on it. Some PJW. Can't, say anything bad about that. Some Ekaterina with the drama. Cat Burglar. Okay, so where the fuck is this? How long ago did you send me this? We have some true crime. The Road to Dex. Killers and Pedos. So far, this is... Oh, look at that. Magic Buzz. Watching you, Magic Buzz. How look at that. But I'm trying to find this clock video that Steve Brooksy sent me. And I cannot find it. But you could see what I'm watching here. I'm watching my own shit. How sad is that? I'm watching ham radio from before. My live stream, I'm watching a lot of Paul Joseph Watson here. All right. Miami Vice, In the Air Tonight. I know that this is completely pointless. But again, I'm looking through your video, or for your video here. And I can't fucking find it. Which is very upsetting. Exact change. I guess I was looking for a demo. Some Colts shit. I can't find it. So I hope you appreciate what I've gone through. A Trump wave. All right. We're getting to the based side of things here. Some wrestling things. So I'm looking at my YouTube history. For those of you that just joined, looking for a specific video sent to me by Steve Brooksy that I cannot find. I think I'm kind of fucked here. I watched it, that's for sure. I just don't know where it is here. So I apologize, but I guess I can't show it here because it turns out that I cannot find it. Maybe I skipped it. I doubt it. See, look, I'm pretty calm when it comes to my videos. People think that I'm very nuts. 1975. Yes, 1975. I'm going to go watch them in concert next month here when they come to Miami. I'm a huge fan of the band. It's my guilty pleasure. And you know what? Fuck you. All right. Matty Healy's based. I like him. He's funny. Listening to him on certain podcasts. He's a humorous fella. And he makes great music. And I'd argue that he made better music when he was on meth. And now he's no longer on meth. So he makes worse music. So please go back to the meth, Matty. I'd appreciate it. Have you ever had a guilt wank over China porn? China, I don't know. I don't know if I've... Probably in the history of my beating of my dick, I probably have. China was hot for like 2 months. China the wrestler we're talking about. She was hot for like 2 months. And then she went back to looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger, which I'm not a fan of. So she's probably in the spank bank for sure. I was at a music festival and I saw a cardster trying to act like they didn't want to be noticed. Funny enough, I wrote on my latest book that I haven't come out with yet called Art of the Squeal. Thank you for titling that. I forgot who it was, but might have been you, Steve Brooksy. I wrote the story of my first trick and me performing the first time ever, and I mentioned doing that. I mentioned being in I think it was a stand-up MRI office, and I'm there doing this bit where I'm shuffling the cards, pretending not to want to get noticed while trying to get noticed, and I'm doing all the flashy shit, all the things that are stupidly flashy, trying to get attention. I love how he ignores us. I'm not ignoring you, Alejandro. Let me see. Please make a moaning sound real quick so I could relive my climax. I've been climaxing for the past hour. If you're busting for an hour, my dude, you definitely need to go get that checked. It's one of those one of those Viagra pills that I have in my wallet just in case I'm ever fucking a fat chick. That says if you have a boner for 4 hours or longer, please call a doctor. Same thing for that. So, okay, so what else did you say? I was going to bust, and then I saw you were going to live stream. Hey, PigCake, earlier today I was thinking of Ben Shapiro's assault case against Bad Bunny. It reminded me of you. I didn't know that there was one that he did. I didn't know that it was one that he did. But that's kind of fucked. So, okay, you said you sent me the clock one. So let me look at the clock one that you sent, and then I guess I will call this a stream. And then I'll probably be back tomorrow for a regular PigCast. Blah, blah. Now I'm going to click on the video. Hopefully it's not with some link that sends you my IP address. So this is a video. And it's not fucking worth it, by the way. I just remembered now. This is definitely not fucking worth it to show on the stream. It was pretty AIDS in and of itself. But alas, since you've told me to watch it, I'm going to watch it. So this is a video in question that you called a cringe trick. So we have this fella doing a trick, very rigid, shows a hat to be otherwise empty, and then suddenly the world's loudest MP3 of an alarm is played. Suddenly. And an alarm is produced from inside of this top hat. Whoa, is that another MP3 of a fucking alarm? Playing again? Yup, because there's another alarm clock. Guess what? You're going to repeat this about 17 more times. The same exact sound. Very rigid, this guy. Is very, like a Barbie doll. And it shows exactly the hidden compartment where it came from. Let's see if he makes another one appear. Yes. Makes another alarm clock appear from another compartment that he's going to show exactly where it came from. Having a hard time removing it. But it made an appearance. Another alarm clock. These are, by the way, if you have an alarm clock like that, I don't trust you around kids. And it's funny because the actual top is not ringing. It's just a very loud MP3. Okay. I forgot how many alarms clocks he makes appear. I'm going to assume 6 just for the sake of evenness. This is what you told me to watch. Is there going to be a lot? No. Okay. There's a presentation. I think the cringe was the fact that you found that video. That was more cringy than anything. He also unboxed a... is this the same person? Yeah, he unboxes.
Hi, today I'm going to unboxing this Epson printer.
An Epson. So this guy's pretty base, man. This guy's pretty base. I'm not going to complain about this guy. If there's anything I would say is that he's pretty rigid. Pretty rigid with that. But I am cringing at your cringing of it. But apart from that, I think that I'm good. I think this has been a hot one, as New York-based Christopher Walken-looking magicians would say. I gave you some advice as to how to, live as a magician, and I hope you take that. I'll probably see you again tomorrow. So I'm not that far away from gracing your beautiful ears with my sultry voice. But apart from that, some advice at the end of the video. Always, Nancy Pelosi is getting insider trading. She's doing it blatantly, and I'm willing to bet that if I was a congressman, somehow I would probably also be worth $20 million on a salary of, I think, $120,000 a year. But then again, she has been in politics for like 97 years. So it could just be that. But no, for sure she's doing insider trading. So that's my